With new consoles comes new technology. That's nothing new. But what might be new is the amount of new technology that we're getting in these new platforms, in particular the PlayStation 5. And one developer, a very large developer, is talking extremely fondly of the PlayStation 5. And this sort of goes in line with what we've been seeing and hearing from big AAA developers around the world who seem to really love the PlayStation 5 and how well-rounded it is and how powerful it is. And I think that just goes to show you that Sony was very perceptive going into next generation not to have a letdown after such a successful generation with the PlayStation 4. So according to this, the PlayStation 5 is doing things that no other console is doing, and it's able to accomplish things at such a high fidelity, and it's really amazing developers. So this should be a very fun video to do, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. I know I will. So let's get started. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It really helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. And if you guys really want to help out, like I say, the best way to do that is a simple like. That helps out any content creator, just to be honest with you. You can also feel free to go ahead and hit the bell so you're notified of everything as soon as it drops. What's up to all the new subscribers, old subscribers, everybody in between? You guys are absolutely fantastic, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I made some changes around here, and a lot of the things that I've implemented was thanks to you. And I just want to say I appreciate all the compliments, all the critiques, all that kind of good stuff. This is Crapgamer Reviews. It's unscripted. None of that boring stuff. None of that monotone talk. No reading from a script that it took a week to write out and perfect, and cuts and edits. I'm a human being just like you. We make mistakes, we mispronounce things, we mess up, but you know what? I'm not going to try to act like I'm better than anybody else. I'm just a guy who loves gaming, and hopefully that passion comes across in a great way, because I try to be, funny, but I try to be the everyday kind of gamer that you can relate to, because that's what I am. So hopefully that definitely comes across. And, I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit, because we saw at the PlayStation 5 reveal, Sony did an incredible job of, showing us exactly what the PlayStation 5 would be capable of. They were really critical of getting things right. And what I mean by that is, because if you go back to the Inside Xbox event in May, which happened, a couple weeks or a week or whatever before the PS5 reveal, people made fun of that. Right? Microsoft said, hey, we've got gameplay. We're going to show off the first official next-gen gameplay. They failed to do that completely. They didn't show anything running on a Series X, and it was really low production quality. So Sony was very aware of this, and not only were they very aware of it, but they made sure to kind of, embrace the fact that they were self-aware, right? And what I mean by that is they were able to go out there and kind of concentrate on putting the best show out that they could, and that's exactly what they did. They showcased games running on a PlayStation 5. There were a couple imperfections and all, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter, because fans were excited. Everybody got excited. We saw some incredible looking next generation things, and you know what? The next generation things were confirmed by Digital Foundry and other outlets as well. Even when we saw the Unreal Engine 5 demo, that's something that, absolutely looked incredible, and they confirmed that can't be done on other platforms. And I think that realistically, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for stuff that can't really be done on these other platforms, and that's why we upgrade. And so this is going to be one of the big things that people are going to be talking about for a long time to come, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now, and hopefully you guys understand what I'm kind of talking about here. So anyway, there's this game that they revealed there called Project Athea. It's a Square game, and they're talking more about it and the PlayStation 5, and it sounds like the PlayStation 5, the reason why they went with that as a timed exclusive or whatever is because they're just enthralled with the quality, with the specs, with the specifications, with the power, with everything that's involved with the PlayStation 5. Okay, they announced this game in June, and I will link this article in the description. If you're new to my channel, please understand, any news, I'd link it 100% in the description below. If it's something that's my opinion, I don't have to link that because it's my opinion. If it's a leak or rumor, nowadays those run on the major sites too, so I can link that sometimes. But if it's something that somebody told me in confidence, unfortunately I can't link that, and I'll just tell you to take it with a grain of salt, because that's the way these things go. This industry is ever changing, and it changes really fast. So Project Athea was announced in June, and it looked great. We wanted to see more about it. And according to a Square Enix president and representative, Mr. Matsuda, he talks a little bit about it. He says the game Project Athea, which that's probably not going to be the game's title when it's done, obviously, is going to release for the PlayStation 5, is an open world style game in which users can freely move around the game world. He told Weekly Toyo Plus, and I quote, PS5 dramatically improves video technology, such as with the implementation of light-reflecting ray tracing technology. Compared to what you see in PC, it is nearly identical. By utilizing these special traits, we're able to create incredibly precise imagery. We still plan on developing well-balanced games tailored to a platform's traits, including smartphone and cloud-based games, but we will never stop developing for high-end platforms such as PS5 because these things are packed with the best technology. So again, this game might be, a couple years out or whatever, but I believe we did see some gameplay of it, and they're like comparing it to high-end PCs and saying, this is a high-end platform, and they're going to continue to develop for stuff like that. I think that's a breath of fresh air because they're also talking about ray tracing technology and things like that. And that's another thing because developers, again, are talking about ray tracing, and that's what the next generation, the big selling point is, right? That's why I was so disappointed with the Halo Infinite news that there's not going to be ray tracing involved in that from launch, which, again, that's the big thing, right? And then you're not going to have ray tracing? I don't understand that, but it is nice to see that another developer is not only talking ray tracing and how great the platform is for the PlayStation 5, but also confirming that, again, it's doing ray tracing. Right? For all that talk about RDNA Lite and RDNA 1.5 with PlayStation 5, these developers are kind of nipping that in the bud by saying, no, listen, this is full-on hardware-based ray tracing that we're doing here, right? And you guys have to understand, hardware-based ray tracing can only be done with RDNA 2, right? That's according to AMD. And Sony actually confirmed in 2019 that they're going to be able to accomplish hardware-based ray tracing with the PlayStation 5. So it really shouldn't come as a surprise. I'm not sure FUD and stuff comes from, but it's coming from really a kind of a bad place if you think about it, because at the end of the day, Sony and Microsoft both created very powerful machines, and both these powerful machines are capable of doing some incredible things. Now, with that being said, the PlayStation 5 seems to be getting the bulk of the praise, the bulk of the developers, or at least the big developers. The only time I see developers talking about the Xbox Series X are either Microsoft's own developers or like indie developers who, will say, hey, yeah, I love the Xbox Series X because it's the most powerful console in the world. And then you see the game that they're making is some kind of cartoon thing, and you just kind of scratch your head a bit. Maybe it's because Microsoft is more apt to give these indie developers some stage presence and some stage time, because if you look at their events, like the Inside Xbox in May, if you look at the events, their July 23rd showcase, they had indies and that kind of stuff on there. So I think a lot of times developers getting free press like that is a pretty good indication of why they will develop something first and why Microsoft ends up with so many quote-unquote console launch exclusives. Those games will all end up on the PlayStation at some point, but at the same time, I don't think PlayStation is offering the amount of screen time that Microsoft is in terms of getting like advertisement outs and stuff like that for these events. Now, if you go back to the beginning of last generation or this current one that we're almost out of, Sony was the one giving a lot of props and a lot of indie sizzle reels and things like that. Now, I don't have a problem with indies. I'm just more of a big AAA kind of gamer, and that's just how I've always been. But again, I think if you're going to push the hardware, if you're going to sell new hardware, it's always best to do that with graphically realistic or graphically demanding games that really showcase it. I mean, when I bought, a Xbox One, the first game I played was Rise. It might have been Killer Instinct, but I think it was Rise, and I just remember being blown away, like, wow, this is something that can't be done on the Xbox 360. When I first got my PS4, it was like I played the Order 1886, and you just knew that that stuff couldn't have been done on the PS3. So, again, it's always very interesting to see how these things kind of play out and how developers react to the new hardware and the specifications and things like that. I don't think that either one of these companies have much to worry about. I just think that gamers are really in for a big treat, and I'm excited for that. So, again, it's really nice to know more confirmation, ray tracing, hardware ray tracing possible on the PlayStation 5. It's able to do things that high-end PCs can do, and some that can't even do yet. So it's going to be very fun to see when we actually get these type of games. Open world game, I'll be happy to see it. It looks like it might be they might be aiming for 60 frames on that. I'm not sure yet, so don't quote me on that. But it is good news nonetheless, and it's a very exciting time to be a gamer, and I would absolutely love your thoughts and opinions on this if you could give me them down below, or Twitter at @the_Crapgamer, Xbox Live MOH space Crapgamer, or PSN just Crapgamer, and I try to respond to everybody. So I hope you guys all stay healthy, happy, and all that kind of good stuff. And anybody that took time out to check out one of my videos, I appreciate it. Rack 'em up, game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.